I don't remember what year it was, what year I do. I just do my best to forget about it, given that it was the year, and in that year, it was the day my life nearly came to an end. It was the night before Halloween, and my friends and I thought it would be a good idea to spend the night over at an abandoned house to bring in Halloween. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, and so am I now that I look back at it. What the hell were we thinking? The sun faded from the heavens as thunder roared through the city, what seemed like every other minute. My friends Jordan, Richie, Veronica, and Tracy all showed up dressed in their Halloween costumes. I don't specifically remember what everyone else had on besides Veronica, who dressed up in a leather-tight outfit like a Catwoman, and I was Batman. Yeah, I know, cheesy, right? But that was my favorite character growing up as a kid. And plus I went shopping for a costume last minute, so I didn't have many options. Anyways, getting back to the story, I drove in my car with Veronica and Jordan while everyone else drove in Tracy's car. We arrived just outside the abandoned two-story house, which was darker than a street with no street lights around midnight. The scent of weed filled not only my vehicle but my lungs as well, as we puffed past the joint around clockwise to one another. We all exited from the vehicles after we pulled into the driveway. The sound of crickets sounded off heavily all around us, as a few of us pulled out our flashlights just to see exactly what was going on around us. Hey Jordan, how about you go inside first? I joked as I aimed my flashlight right at Jordan, causing him to shield his face. He shook his head. He's by far the scariest one of all of us, as he attempted for days now, since we came up with this brilliant idea to spend the night here, trying to talk us out from doing so. Why did he even show up? I tried to figure that out until I spotted him gawking at Tracy from the very moment we all got out of the car. He's obsessed with her, and honestly, I don't blame him because Tracy does look good, just not as good as Veronica does. What are we all standing here waiting for? Asked Richie. What are you all, scared of something? Let's go. He grabbed a bottle of alcohol and nearly suffocated himself with it as he poured every ounce of liquor down his throat. He then tossed the bottle aside and shouted out, "Woo!" in excitement before he kicked open the door and marched right into the abandoned house. He was greeted by a large spider web that stuck to his face like glue, but that didn't spoil his excitement about being here. He pulled out his phone from his back pocket and he began blasting music loudly. We all entered into the dark, creepy house soon after as we took a look around the home. Instantly, I spotted the portrait of a family standing on the wall in the center of the living room. Everyone else took a look around the home while I gingerly walked over to the picture, examining it closely. I got within a few feet of the picture as I spotted the eyes of the woman, who must be the mother, staring right at me. She then took her eyes off of me and looked over at my friends before she looked right back at me, frightening me instantly. Guys, look, she's looking at me, I blurted out aloud, causing everyone to take a look over at me. Everyone thought that I must have seen someone. However, they spotted me staring up at the picture on the wall and they all began laughing out loud. Bro, I told you don't smoke any weed, says Jordan, the good guy out of all of us. I shook my head. I know that I'm high, but there's no way my mind's playing tricks on me. I spotted Veronica staring at me intensely, not uttering a single word. I wonder what she's thinking as she looks at me. Does she think that I'm making this up, or does she believe me? I just don't know because she's just gawking at me. Then her focus went away from me as she started to make her way up the stairs. Hey guys, I called dibs on the master bedroom, she said before she sprinted up the stairs as Richie rushed behind her. No way, that's not fair, he yelled, as he couldn't even keep up with her. I shook my head as I noticed Jordan following Tracy around the house like a little puppy. I then returned my focus onto the picture where I no longer saw the woman in the picture. She went missing from the picture, causing me to back away from it. I nearly tripped over a rusted stool, which forced me to take a look around just to make sure that I didn't trip over anything else. Somehow I took a look back over at the picture, and there that same woman was. She had returned to the picture. I shook my head. I'm terrified, I must admit. That caused me to sprint up the flight of stairs in a hurry as I yelled out Veronica's name. Flashlight in hand, guided me up the stairs where I spotted Veronica standing in the doorway, waving to me for me to come join her. I had suddenly completely forgotten what had just took place downstairs. As a matter of fact, I was going to tell her that we need to leave immediately, but my mind went completely away from that. I met Veronica by the doorway of the master bedroom where our lips met in a hurry. "Oh man, high school has gone wild," blurted out Richie, who held up his phone as though he was recording us. "Get out of here," Veronica shouted, causing Richie to back away. "Whatever, guys," he spoke. "I'm going to go and get those 2 bottles of hen dogs I left in the car." He took off, rushing down the stairs as Jordan and Tracy came up the stairs, holding each other's hands. I looked at Jordan, and he looked at me as we both rooted each other on without even uttering one word to one another. He then entered the room with Tracy, and I entered another with Veronica, and needless to say, Veronica and I had a good time. Nearly a few hours later, as I rested in bed laid up next to Veronica, I heard the sound of footsteps. I heard them go back and forth just outside of our bedroom door, before a bedroom door slammed closed. Then it reopened again. I heard footsteps running back and forth before my room door yet again. Then quietness took place for several seconds before someone began banging on my room door, waking Veronica up from out of her sleep. Her Catwoman outfit covered half of her face, but I could see the terror in her eyes. "What was that?" she asked. I shrugged my shoulders. However, I know that I have to man up and go find out. I stood up from the bedside in nothing but my boxers with a flashlight in hand, aimed at the door. I can see someone's foot through the bottom of the door. "That's Richie. It has to be," says Veronica, suddenly gaining some courage. "Tell him to grow up and take his ass to sleep." I agreed. I grabbed the door handle, filled with anger. I know Richie must be mad that his girlfriend didn't show up, and he's all alone. I opened the door and I spotted no one standing in front of the door. Just Richie's shoes resting on the floor. I appeared puzzled. I'm confused. "Richie, this isn't funny," I yelled, causing Tracy and Jordan to exit from their bedroom. "What's going on, bro?" Jordan asked in a concerned manner. I shook my head. "I think Richie's playing mind games with us," I said as I heard a loud thud come from Richie's bedroom. That caused Jordan and I to head over to his room door as Veronica exited from out of our room. She headed over to Tracy, standing by her side as I exhaled deeply as I placed my hand onto Richie's door handle. "Richie, I'm coming in. You need to stop playing around," I spoke before I shoved the bedroom door wide open. I spotted Richie laid out on his bed, smothered in his own blood, causing Jordan to take off running as I stood there frozen. "He's dead. Richie's dead," yelled Jordan over and over again as Tracy cried out while hearing the news. Then suddenly silence filled the entire house as I heard a loud thud after a loud thud. My heart raced. Panic filled my entire body. "Guys, what's going on?" I said aloud as I crept out of the room gradually. I then spotted Veronica holding a knife that she just yanked out of Tracy's gut, causing Tracy to drop down dead to the floor. My eyes widened. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. "Veronica, what the hell did you just do?" I asked, frightenedly. Veronica didn't respond as she began observing me from the distance. Suddenly, she began removing the mask from off of her face. 3 years ago, Pat, before you arrived here, Richie, Jordan, and Tracy thought it would be fun to play with fireworks, launching a few into this house, causing a huge fire that killed my family. My mother, my father, my brother, and my baby sister, she explained. As their souls arrived, appearing right before me by Veronica's side, they had to pay for what they did, she added. I'll let you go, Pat, but you must promise to never speak of this ever, and I mean never, or else we'll come for you, she made clear. And until this day and beyond, this story will remain my secret.